Hello and welcome to NewFilmmakers Los Angeles. I'm delighted to have a very talented filmmaker. We are literally stretching here from Los Angeles to Barcelona. So welcome, Joan. Really good to have you here. Thank you for making it happen. Really delighted. Now, normally he's here in Los Angeles and he made a fantastic film called The Disease. You haven't seen it, so let's take a look at a clip.
There's millions of young people just like me who want what they can't get. We have a sick generation and the world has no solutions. What are we supposed to do?
Thank you so much for making this happen. You're in one of the best cities in the world and it's where you're from. So I'm very envious that I'm not with you right now having a nice glass of wine, but we'll make this happen. Listen, thank you so much for The Disease. I was captivated by the amazing writing, just the story, the way you directed it. It was such a good short film. I really loved it. But for those that haven't seen it, tell us a brief synopsis of your film.
Okay, thank you, Danny, and hello. The synopsis basically is a couple of siblings who meet in front of the Hollywood sign after he has had a terrible audition. So it's kind of a very simple synopsis because our film is not like a story that is told. It's more like an idea or a message which is behind the words of the siblings in the conversation they have. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's kind of a one location thing where the two siblings are talking and the interest is in what they are talking about more than in the story or the narrative.
Yeah.
So that was a bit risky of when we were developing the script. Barcelona, Los Angeles is a big delay. Because I should be in Los Angeles, but I'm here because of the coronavirus. But you're well as well in Barcelona. It's a good city, as you said.
I really did love the way this was written. It was, I think anyone that, particularly as you know, being in Los Angeles, it's very much a place where people are going for their dreams. And it's a hard place. Mm-hmm. As much as the sun is shining, it's a hard place for a lot of people going to get to where they want to be in their life. Was that kind of like, of course there's some twists in this film, which we discover, but was that this particular story, was it, what was the inspiration for you in creating this particular story?
Yes, that I was about to say so, because that's what happened, that we came, I'm saying we because that this film is directed by me and my partner Dada, mm-hmm. Who is from London, and we met when I was living in London 3 years ago. So what happened is I came to LA 2 years ago with my visa. It was my first time in Los Angeles and in the Hollywood industry, and I kind of discovered all of the city and all of the hard things that happened there to survive in the city. And that's why we decided to do this short film, and why all of the text that is written is kind of autobiographical, because it's what we experience in the city. That's why it's so true and so real. So we kind of put all of the truth we knew in the text. Yeah. That's why I think it works, because it's from the heart. And yes, what you were saying, it's like everybody can tell you it's very hard from the distance, and like they can tell you it's one of the most demanding cities in the world, but it's the day you go there and you live it yourself and you try is when you realize like how hard it is. And I didn't know, like, for example, like you have Hollywood, and then nowadays there is so many people trying to get into the Hollywood industry that they have created an independent industry just surrounding Hollywood trying to get in. So now there is kind of two walls in the same city, like the people who really work and live in Hollywood, and the other people that is trying to break in.
Yeah.
And that's what we wanted to portray and to show in the film.
I thought you did it so well. I really did. I would go as far as saying anyone that is aspiring to their dreams or on the way to their dreams should watch your film, because I think it had a very important message. And I think, like you said, I think it came from the heart, and it really shows, because it really feels like true experiences of many, many people. And I think sometimes the misled of sunshine, and it's a really hard place to be, and there's a lot of sacrifices people make to strive for their dreams, and I found it so inspirational. I thought it was wonderfully acted. You had a really, really good cast. How did you bring your cast together?
Well, that's an interesting story. Because we had the two actors already locked, and they were like very keen on the project. I met the actors from music videos that I did before in LA, so that was already the relationship was already created, and I was very, very happy with them. But then 2 days before the production, both of them just ran off the project. They call off the project because of the union problems, because it was a non-union project, because it was like a small short film. So there was no way it was like inside of the union, and they were both union actors. So they wanted to avoid any problems with their unions. So they decided not to participate in the short. The problem was the timing, because they decided that 2 days before of the shooting. So we had 2 days to find new actors, and one of the, if you watch the short film, one of the roles, like the main character, has a lot of talking, a lot of text, because it's basically based on a monologue of the main actors. So I was very worried, because it's not just finding the right actor. It's like the actor needs time to learn the part and the text. So that was like 2 very chaotic days. I was like this to just cancel the film. It was like almost canceled this film, but thankfully, the actor that kind of dropped out last minute, he recommended us one of his friends, and he agreed on doing it last minute, and we did it with him. And he did an incredible job, because he learned everything in 1 day, and he was very, very easygoing and very understandable. And yeah, it was a pleasure working with him.
Oh, I love that. Wow.
The actors kind of saved the project. But I think when you do a short film, like almost in all of the productions, you have a moment where you are about to cancel the film, because you always have travel problems and a lot of complications. And I think like any director or producer have this moment of, okay, I'm canceling, I'm not doing it, I'm going home. But this time was real, was very close to, but we did it.
I'm so glad you did. I really am glad that you didn't cancel, because, again, it's like you said, a lot of people go through a lot of challenges, and that certainly is a challenge, particularly because your film has, it's a monologue essentially. So it's a lot of words to remember, to pick up. But, it's nice because it kind of almost sits inside well with your story. Like,
exactly.
Sometimes that's what it takes, within 30 hours, you've got to, an actor's got to come in and learn this speech and do it. And so that, you got a great team and casting as well.
All what happens is kind of a proof of the script.
Yeah, it is. It really is right. It really.
But yeah, it's true that we wanted to base the film on the characters, because they are actors on the script. So like their character is being an actor. So when you have an actor playing an actor, you won't like to base the film on them, because that's important for the script. And I want to recall one thing you said before, because I think it's true. Like when you are from outside of the LA, you have like 1,000 siren songs telling you to come here. This is amazing. You have sunshine like 24 hours, 7 days a week. And here is the biggest industry in the world. You're gonna get rich and famous. You can. I'm from Barcelona, so I'm in just literally in the other side of the world. And I can tell you, I've been living these siren songs since I was 12, 13, 14. And that's why one of the reasons I ended up trying Los Angeles, because it has all of this marketing work behind, where like if you're not there, you're nobody. And that's why I wanted to do the film, because to make people realize that that's not exactly true. It could be a lie, or it has a lot of small text that you have to be aware of.
So true, so true. I was that you actually brought me on. I was going to say, what did you kind of want your audience to get from, to sort of take from it? But it's very tough, and I think you gave a really good outlook for not just people that are striving for their journeys, but also how tough it is just from the outside in, and getting there as well. What's it been like for you? I mean, I know it's a very interesting time, but what has the reaction been like for you, sharing the disease and sharing the film? We certainly loved having your film at New Filmmakers LA at our film festival. What's the reaction been from your audience thus far?
So far, I'm very happy with the audience reactions, because like most of the people like the film, and they feel attracted for the message, which was my main point and my main concern. And let me tell you that I'm very happy, because it's not about it. Our film is not just about filmmakers or cinema. What we wanted to do is from cinema, trying to spread the word into all of the professions and all of the different jobs. It's more about like all the young people, all the young generations that nowadays are starting jobs or starting careers, and they can't do what they want, or they can't promote as they would like, because of how the world works now. It's just how it's settled nowadays. So that's why a lot of like a big part of the text is not just centered on cinema. It's trying to spread the concept to any young person, or any young boy or girl. And I'm getting this from the audience. Like, it's not just like the filmmakers that like the film, it's just anybody, mainly the young people. It's true that, for example, if my parents, or like people from their generation, the boomers, that it's very popular now to say, if the boomers watch the film, they understand everything that we say, but how like the millennials and the X generation live the film, it's different. They enjoy it more because they feel directly appealed.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I honestly feel that, I love that you mentioned that you're really trying to, encapsulate other professions and anyone that's striving for their dreams. And that's why you have to watch your film all the way through to the end, because I think I noticed myself as an audience member going on a journey of just when all those things come into your head, all those kind of negative voices that come into your head about fighting for your dreams, how tough life can be, all the things that's thrown at you on the way to getting where you want to go in your life. And then just a feeling of like, I can do this, like I can do this. I know it's tough, but I can do this. And I think that you gave people a lot of strength, particularly at a time when it's even more difficult as well. Like I really, so we should really highlight your film as therapy. It's got therapy in there. So thank you for making it for everybody. And so glad. So what is next for you, even though during this time, have you got any other things you're working on script wise? What's next at the moment?
Yes, just before changing topic, I want to finish about the disease, saying that for us, having this final twist plot, like the ending, which changes everything, that was the key of the film. If we didn't have this ending, I wouldn't have made the film, because the film for me makes sense because of the ending, because the ending changes, as you said, changes the whole negative perspective about everything. We didn't want to do a film just like talking bad words and saying how hard it was, and like all about this negativity, to send negativity to people. We wanted just the opposite. So it seems like it's like that, and at the end we have the twist where you kind of click, and the whole state of mind changes, and you understand it from the other perspective. And that's why for me it's beautiful that we have done this kind of film.
Well,
Uh,
it's very clever, and it's very clever. And what's amazing about what fascinated me the most, and why I was so excited to meet you today, is that, you know, sometimes in our minds, what we're going through in life, we can tap into things, negative thoughts, or things that, you know, easily enough, and maybe we don't always see the bright side or the positive elements, or the things that, if we just changed our perspective, we may be more confident and positive in pursuing our dreams. And what was so
mhm.
great is you took us on this psychological journey where you automatically reflect onto your own life and what you're going through and think, oh my goodness, it's so tough, it's so tough, it's so tough. And then you give us this resolution like, it's okay. I just got to tap into the
Yeah.
right mentality. And you took us obviously on a twist. So we were like, oh, okay. Oh, great. This is amazing. So
Exactly.
I love how you just played
Mhm.
with the human psyche of our brains. It was very clever. And so hopefully you'll keep making more
Yeah.
movies like
Because
that as well.
the
So
film, the film says it's very difficult, but you can do it, and that's why that makes the title make sense because of the ending, the disease, because it's a thing that you complain and it's very difficult, but you can stop trying.
yes, exactly. So what is next? What you next working on at the moment?
Now I'm working on a very interesting project because my last short film it's about kind of a documentary that has fiction on it. So it's kind of a mix between documentary and fiction because it's a short film based on a real photography, and it's a photography that happened on the wars of Syria in 2015
Mhm.
during the bombing of the Israeli military forces, and the picture is amazing. It's a picture where you can see two girls in a bathtub having fun with their father. They're just like cleaning and having fun, and the whole house and the whole neighborhood is destroyed by the bomb. So it's like an oasis of happiness in a sea of destruction. And I got just captivated by the picture, and I wanted to bring this picture to life. So the short film is basically the picture dramatized, so it becomes a scene, a fiction scene, and that I just finished the piece, and it's been like a big success in some of the festivals here, and all of the people I show the film, they just get very excited. And I decided to two things. First, to start kind of a mini series of just trying to bring photos to life.
Mhm.
I think it's a very interesting concept to take pictures, real photographies of big events and big dramas, and just bringing these pictures to life with the cinema language and with the fiction.
Well, I
So
already can't wait to. I can't wait to see it myself. So this is amazing, and you know, I think the wonderful thing we're discovering so early on in your career is that, you know, you have a very, you know, wonderful vision for storytelling and filmmaking. So you know, it's very exciting, and I can't wait to see this. And again, an area unfortunately that existed a few years ago that we, you know, need to know more about around the world as well.
mhm,
So I'm glad that you're making this
yeah,
film. You know, again, so early in your career, but what, just to finish on, is there a piece of advice you may have learned thus far in your career, maybe from a mentor or something you go by, that you can maybe share with other filmmakers out there?
yeah, I would say. Well, I'm still on the way of doing my first feature film, so I will like to give this advice once I've done my first feature film, which I hope it's gonna happen soon. Actually, I'm trying to make my first feature script about the project of the picture. So I would take the girls of the picture and imagine what would happen 15 years later. So the
Wow.
film would be about one of the girls that goes to Europe or to LA or to America after 15 years of the picture's events. But
Wow.
saying that, one of the things I learned, and when I listened to it, it sounded me like a topic when I was 20, 25. But now I see the truth on it, which is like that you have to. It's kind of a marathon. The filmmaking world and the cinema career it's a marathon. It's not the thing that it's gonna happen in 1, 5, or even 10 years. It's a life project. So if once you know it's a life project, and once you have done this choice that it's gonna be your life, you have to just keep going for a lot of years, because you can tell, like, all of the people that don't get it, or it's because they just drop in the process. Yeah. Because I understand it's very hard to keep going if you don't have projects, if you don't have money, if you have to just find a different work or live in a different city. That's why most of the people just don't achieve the goals, because it's kind of a 20 years project, and when they are in year 6, they can't stand it anymore, and they drop it. And that's what I would say, so just to keep going. Because at the end it's gonna come. Maybe it's in 20 years. Yeah. Future, but it's gonna come.
Oh, well, thank you for inspiring us still. I mean, it's amazing, and you know, we really appreciate the work that you're making, but also the inspiration. And you're so right, it's a lifelong commitment to making this. Well, I'm so glad that, you know, we get to do this. I'm sorry we can't do a New Filmmakers Barcelona and join you, but you know, looking forward to having you back in Los Angeles, and thanks so much for making The Disease. So really appreciate you.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you for having us in the festival. It's great. And like, that's why basically we did the film, to be in this kind of festivals.